With the advent of virtualization and people consolidating many physical servers down to a single physical server with a bunch of virtual servers, that drove the need for more NIC cards and host bus adapters inside of servers. It wasn't uncommon to see 5+ connections per server. A lot of times it was for different reasons. Maybe I needed a vMotion NIC or something for backup traffic. I definitely needed my host bus adapters in there in order to connect to the SAN. What this led to was a very inefficient use of network infrastructure and a lot of network cards and HBAs in servers. This adds downstream costs, and it added complexity to environments. Part of this complexity had to do with managing firmware, driver patching, and versioning. It was a huge mess, not to mention the cable mess that it made in the back of networking racks. Unified Fabric, or what we would call Cable Once technology, allows you to put 2 network adapters into a server, each capable of 10 gig, and consolidate all of your traffic over those adapters. Therefore, you can reduce the power consumption of a server, reduce the number of network cards in a server, you can reduce the amount of cabling in your network racks. We call these new network cards converged network adapters. And these network cards can be used in both traditional servers and blade servers. It also significantly reduces the number of ports needed in the data center, as well as the types of switches that are needed. For instance, in the past you needed a network switch or a pair of network switches and a pair of fiber channel switches to support your environment. Today, with converged network adapters, we may only need 1 pair of switches that can do both. Converged network adapters are very similar to the current network adapters that you have in your server. Some of today's manufacturers that make these network adapters are QLogic, Emulux, and Cisco. They have outstanding performance, half the power consumption of traditional adapters, and they're able to implement these technologies with a single chip, which makes it easy to port these technologies over to blade servers. Where it used to be that you had separate chipsets and drivers for the network stack and the storage stack, you now have a single card with the chipsets that you need to support both the storage and the networking stack. These chips and drivers that are being used on the storage side were similar to the ones already being used in legacy HBAs. And that way they were very quickly able to go through the certification process with our storage vendors and our key application vendors. To server admins, these converged network adapters look the exact same way as they used to in their traditional operating systems with traditional NIC cards and traditional HBAs. With both Windows and Unix, you still see 2 network adapters and 2 fiber channel adapters. For instance, in Windows, a single 2-port converged network adapter actually appears as 4 devices in Device Manager, 2 Ethernet cards, and 2 HBAs. Existing management tools like OneConnect and SAN Surfer can still be used to manage these adapters. With this example, you can very easily see why the consolidation is so great inside of data centers that use converged network adapters at the access layer. In this scenario, I can have my 16 2RU rack servers, each with converged network adapters, having 2 cables that go up, 1 to each switch, fully redundant, and I have 1 switch that does the same job that 4 devices used to do, and I have greatly reduced cabling in my racks for better airflow and less consumption of electricity.